in Tefu Lounge. It's a Friday morning, beautiful sunny morning. We've had a few days of rain, and if you walk around outside now, you see pink cherry blossoms scattered all around the ground like confetti. It's very beautiful. I am in the third day of my pop-up show for Chibi Monogatari, the Tiny Fables show, and it's been really good. It's been interesting being in the cafe space and watching the ebb and flow of people come and go during the day. Sometimes it feels a bit like a solemn library with people in deep concentration bashing away at their laptops. And other times, particularly in the afternoons and the evenings, it really comes alive, full of people and laughter and music. And it's been a great experience to be part of that. So if you're just joining us, this is a series of 12 videos in 2026, one a month, following me, a foreign artist in Tokyo, as I build my art practice. And the theme for my work is monsters, and the framework is creating 2 collections of 50 artworks each year until 2030 to create a total of 1,000 monster-themed artworks. And this particular collection was produced with Riso Prep, and I've worked with sculpture, ceramics, painting, and a range of different mediums as I follow my artistic journey over this 10-year period. So thanks for joining, thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with you as I go. Many opportunities in life where you can just drop everything, go out and make the most of a beautiful day. That's exactly what I'm doing today. I had a plan. I was going to sit down as usual in the morning and work through a bunch of things on my to-do list, but it's just such a stunning day, and I don't have too many commitments to other people at the moment, so I was able to just drop everything, save it for another day, and just get outside and soak all of this up. In April, I had the chance to give a talk at PechaKucha here in Tokyo. PechaKucha is a presentation format that's now used all over the world. The idea is simple but challenging. You present 20 slides and each one is shown for 20 seconds. It gives you a total of just 6 minutes and 40 seconds to give your talk. You don't control the slides, they advance automatically, so you have to carefully structure your talk to match the pace. It forces you to be concise, focused, and really deliberate in how you tell your story. I won't include the full talk in this video, but I'll link to the PechaKucha website where you can listen to the talk. It was a great experience, it went really well, I'd love to do it again. PechaKucha events are held in cities all over the world, so if you're curious, I'll include a link in the description. It's definitely worth checking out. So I wanted to jump in and just give a little bit of a a summary of my experience doing the Tefu Lounge pop-up. The big takeaway for me is if you're doing a pop-up, you have to be really strategic about the location. What kind of a store are you doing the pop-up in? What the area are you doing it in? Is it an upmarket area? Are you doing it as part of a retail space, or is it a coffee shop? I found with the coffee shop, my feeling is that people are going in to spend $5 on a coffee, and to get them to go from spending $5 on a coffee to purchasing a $250, $1,000 artwork, it's a bit of a hard sell, I think. There's a bit of a psychological barrier there, perhaps. I think for them to purchase it, they would really have to fall in love with that artwork to purchase it. So I had 36 artworks up on the wall. They were each priced around the $250 Australian dollar mark, 180 US dollars perhaps, and I sold 4 of them. So definitely over those 5 days, selling 4 of those. I would have liked to have sold a bit more. The products, on the other hand, I had 2 goods or products that with a lower price point, and they did okay, but not enough to kind of push me over into profitability from a purely a numbers point of view. From an intangible value point of view, it was great. I'm really happy with it, really glad I did it, just purely because of all the people I met and creating buzz about the project and getting more people following the project on Instagram and visiting the website, getting people signed up to the email list. It was all definitely worth it. But if you're thinking about doing a pop-up, think about the location. Is it in a premium retail space or is it in a coffee shop? I met Mila Usesh, who is a Colombian artist based in Japan, and she was doing a pop-up in the Daikanyama tea site when I went to the designers market there. That's an incredibly premium retail shopping experience, and she had a pop-up set up there. She's done very well with both the lower priced goods and the much higher priced artworks as well. So the takeaway definitely was location, location, location. One pop-up is not the same as the other, and be very strategic about where you choose to do your pop-up show. And also the price point. Are you offering a good range of price points? You want to have a nice variety of low-priced products, particularly if it's in a space like a coffee shop where people kind of come in to not expecting to spend much money. And if you're in a premium space, then yes, you could probably get away with those much higher priced artworks as well. But yeah, very good experience, and I'll be definitely doing more pop-ups and hopefully, putting a bit more strategic thought into the product range what I'll actually stock in those shows in future. Tomorrow I'm going into a risograph studio, and this time they're going to show me how to operate and how to maintain a risograph machine. Last year in 2025, I was spending a lot of time in a risograph studio, but I was simply preparing the files, handing over the artwork, checking the prints, giving them feedback. I wasn't actually operating the machine myself. So really excited tomorrow to actually finally get my hands on one and find out what actually adjusting the alignment and changing the drums, doing all the things I need to do to operate a risograph printer. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this morning I spent a lot of time on an A3 poster that I will take in. I've prepared that file for printing now, and prepping files for risograph printing is a lot different to your traditional CMYK file prep. So I thought today I would just walk you through how that works. So let's jump in and check it out. Okay, this is the artwork I will take into the risograph studio to print. The first thing I did before I thought about the artwork was work out what colors I had to work with. Risograph studios generally on their website will have a list of what colors they support, so I've gone there and had a look at what colors I might be likely to use, then gone back, made a list of those here and had a look through my artwork and made a decision on what artwork would support those ink choices. So just a note on using inks and working out how they will interact with each other. There's a great tool from True Grit Texture Supply called Riscraft. Riscraft did two things. It allowed me to create the risograph look for my artwork, but it also provided a tool which allowed me to blend colors together, see what effects I would get or what results I would get by mixing the different ink colors together. So understanding ink density is important when printing with risograph. I tend to stay under 150% total ink density. So obviously with, let's say, the blue layer that I'll have in my Photoshop file, the maximum I can go is 100% ink density. But if I run 100% red over that 100% blue, then I have a 200% ink density, and that's going to create problems. The reason that creates problems is because risograph ink tends to sit on the top of the paper rather than seeping in, and that's why a lot of the paper textures will run with risograph printing has a texture to it. That texture grips that ink onto the page. When you're printing ink on top of other ink in risograph, it's very wet. So that's when smudges and problems start to appear. Particularly with the darker inks like blues and greens, blacks, if you're running at 100%, even that can cause problems, and I know personally I limit my ink density at 95% across all inks, just to be consistent and to keep it straightforward. So here, for instance, with the red eyes, I'm combining the yellow with the red. I think I've got 95% red ink density, and then I've got about a 30% yellow, and that will give me 125% total ink density. I'm well under that 150% limit. So in the Photoshop file, the grayscale represents the ink density. If I have a 30% gray, that's going to print at 30% of that blue or bright red or yellow ink. So it's very hard to achieve a perfect alignment between the inks. And what happens when they don't align is you get this kind of thing happening. There's a slight blur. This is what people love about risograph. It gives it that retro charm, but you have to expect between 1 to 3 millimeters of misalignment. Even when you do get perfect alignment, over the course of printing, say 10 or 20 of the prints, it's going to shift a little bit. This is my final file here, and I've added registration marks. I've created registration marks and added those to each layer, and that means when I'm printing the file initially, I will do a run of test prints on cheaper paper, and I use the cursor keys, those up, down, left, right keys on the risograph printer that allow me to lock in the alignment. So the file's ready now. I'll take my laptop into the studio and share the file over AirDrop. I'm excited to get my hands on the risograph printer, finally run some tests and produce this artwork. I took myself off to Nokgutter Risograph Studio. It's in Minato-ku, which is near Tokyo Bay, and the shop is in an atrium above a cafe in this beautifully designed building. I met Maki-san. Maki-san showed me through some of the operation of the machine. They actually work with Illustrator files. I didn't need to do all of that conversion into Photoshop after all. And one of the nice surprises was that they offer a recycled origami paper, and in the finished product, got all these lovely flecks of bright origami paper in the finished product. So it was a great success. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I'll definitely need to go back to learn some more, but it was a great day. One of the highlights in April was going to the BnA Wall Hotel. The BnA Wall Hotel is a hotel in Nihonbashi. There's also one in Koenji. There's one in Kyoto as well. There might be some more. It's the concept behind the hotel is that each room is designed by a different artist, and they might not necessarily be interior designers. The artist will work with the hotel founders to fit that space out in line with their vision. And there's some tastefully designed rooms. There's also some pretty wild out there rooms, but each one is bursting with personality, and it's an amazing concept. I got to do a bit of a tour through some of those rooms, and I spoke with one of the founders, an architect, Fukugaki Keigo-san, a really nice guy. I met him at a Tokyo designers meetup last year, and finally I got to go into the hotel and talk to him. I talked to him about my creative residency idea, and he reiterated what a lot of people have told me, that the real estate will be the biggest challenge. Good commercial spaces in Tokyo are super hard to come by, and when you find a space that you like that fits what you're hoping to do, you have to jump on it quickly, and even then it's not guaranteed that you'll get it. It's very competitive, and you have to hope that the owner of that space is sympathetic to your business idea. So it reinforced how big of a challenge that aspect of this business is going to be. There's also a huge mural wall in the hotel, and they have a roster of artists that come in and repaint that mural over time. And I know it's booked out until the end of the year. I think there's openings beginning next year, so I'm going to put a submission in, and fingers crossed I might get an opportunity to paint that giant mural in that BnA Wall hotel in Nihonbashi. Last weekend I visited the Daikanyama Designers Market. So the market is held at Daikanyama Tea Site. So at the market there's about 50 designers and creative studios from Japan, and the great thing about the designers market is it's not just looking at the finished products, you also get to meet the people behind the artwork. And I've been following a couple of these designers on Instagram for some time, Shingo-san in particular, and Pekka-san as well. It was just great to be able to actually meet them and talk to them. It was a great event. So, thoughts on punch needling. It's gone pretty well so far. I started with a hoop and I punch needled for about 2 or 3 minutes with the hoop, and I put it down and walked away from it. I know from tufting that the better the tension, the better quality result I'm going to get. And with a circular hoop, at least the hoops that I was using anyway, I just couldn't get the same tension as I can get with this thing I ordered, which is a wooden frame with gripper tape, and that gives me fantastic tension, makes it so much easier to work with. So I still want to finish these pieces with those wooden hoops. What I'll do is once each piece is finished, I'll pull it off this square frame and I'll insert it into the wooden hoop to finish it. Didn't take too long to get a hang of actually doing punch needle correctly, working in kind of a brick pattern on the piece, and I still have some more work to do. I'm not going to display the hoop side. I'm thinking of displaying the flat stitched side, and that's good because you can see that the hoops are different. The loops are different lengths here, and that creates an uneven texture. So that requires a bit more practice, I think. But this side looks good. It's more, the problem now is coming up with the right concept. And I need to come up with a concept that is going to sustain 50 different iterations. Time-wise, think it's okay. It probably took maybe 4 hours or so to do this 16 by 16 centimeter piece, but that's okay. That will be much quicker than the tufted rugs that I did in 2024. So for the test piece, I created this simple illustration. I've been looking at kind of pagan imagery, something a little bit dark. I am doing that on purpose because often if you look at Pinterest and embroidery, you're seeing lots of kind of folk art or floral pieces, things like that. The values of this collection, I think, is going to be that it kind of turns embroidery on its head a little bit. And so I need to do something that's quite unique. And I thought I might work in monotone. I thought of kind of pagan imagery, and we'll see. I haven't decided on that yet. And the Pinterest board for this collection, 501 to 550, is the longest and most random Pinterest board that I've created for so far for this project. Because I haven't decided on that concept yet. I've spent quite a lot of time thinking about it. One source of inspiration might be nightmares. I wouldn't necessarily call what I'm having nightmares, but I do, at the moment, I do tend to wake up in the middle of the night and just lay there thinking for a couple of hours at a time. The reason for that is, say compared to this time a year ago, I had a lot of design work. I was fighting for hours of the day to work on my art project, thinking if only I had 100% of my time to work on my art project. Now, a year later, I don't have design projects at the moment. I have 100% of time to spend on the artwork, but unfortunately, I can't help myself from being anxious, thinking about I've got a family to support, where is the next design project coming from? And during the day, usually, I have my defenses are up and I can keep the anxiety at bay. I'm working on my art project each day, I'm working on my Japanese each day, and I'm also spending time working on design proposals for businesses and things like that. But for whatever reason, I keep waking up at night, in the middle of the night, thinking, what am I doing? I should be putting the art project aside, working 100% on finding design work. I've got a family to support, all those kinds of thoughts, and my defenses just don't hold. I end up laying there having these kind of waking nightmares. So I wonder if I can kind of channel that into this collection in some way. It would make it very personal and would help weave the artwork into the artist's journey, which I think is very important. So we'll see. I've still got more work to do on that, and I will come back in May and hopefully I'll have a concept to share with you. So that was April, and big things coming in May. The biggest is Design Festa, I think is Japan's biggest art market, 6,500 booths of artists selling and sharing their work. I will be there. This is the second Design Festa that I've done, and I have something a little bit unusual in store for the booth design, and I'm looking forward to sharing more around the thinking behind that next month in next month's video. I'll be doing some social media in the lead up to that, and I'll be working on a photo shoot with featuring some of the products, some of the more unusual products that I've created since this project started in 2021. So looking forward to that. I'll be talking a little bit about the creative residency proposal. I did cash projections for that this month, and I have some thinking around that I'd like to share. And the punch needle embroidery. So next month in May, I'll finalize the concept for that so that I can get into production mode and just really start working on that collection. I also have some thinking around the next collection after that, which will be 551 to 600. So I'll share the concepts, some of the prototypes behind that I've created for that collection in May as well. So May's going to be very busy. Looking forward to catching up with you again then. Bye for now.